going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chad Sports. We got a mailbag coming up on today's show where I answer questions from the real ones here on the channel. We do this during our weekly live shows every Wednesday at around 2 p.m. Central Time. So if you guys are free at that time, I encourage you to tune in. But let's dive into questions here from the real ones. And we start off with Roger Bong, who sent in a $10 super chat. And he says, I am all in for keeping JJ. But not only is he asking for money, but it also seems like he is trying to hold the Vikings to re-sign Kirk. Can we really afford to pay them both? And that's a great question. That's probably the question that's going on in Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's mind right now. And I think this comes down to, because we did hear the report that Justin Jefferson came out and he says, I'm not signing an extension until I know the plan at quarterback. Do I blame him for that? No, not at all. We've also heard that the Vikings don't want to give him guaranteed money after the first season. They've also said that they don't want to give Kirk Cousins guaranteed money. I think this is going to come down to, if the Vikings, I think they're going to offer Kirk an incredibly team-friendly deal where it's like 2 for 50, 2 for 60, and it's going to come down to if Kirk takes that. But if Kirk takes a 2 for 60, and he's only on the books next season for around 20, 25, they could get creative with the signing bonus and all that, then I think Jefferson and Kirk will both be back. But as I'm leaning right now, I don't think Kirk will be on the Vikings next season, and I do think he will end up, whether, no matter where Justin Fields, whether he goes to Atlanta or Pittsburgh, I think Kirk could go to the other spot. And yeah, I just think maybe a team will offer Kirk a little too much, but I appreciate the question. I hope JJ's back, but again, there's a lot of reports out there indicating that it might not happen, or it might not be as likely as people think. Bulls Nation asking a great question on here, saying, I think Minnesota should trade down, maybe then should trade down and draft Tyler Nubin. So yes, Tyler Nubin is the big old cornerback, actually from really close to where I grew up in Chicago. He's from St. Charles, and he played with the Minnesota Gophers this past season, but he's an absolute dog at the cornerback spot. He plays with so much energy and tenacity. Any single time that I see his highlight, because Vikings fans love tweeting out his highlights on Twitter, he just plays with a lot of energy. He reminds me actually very similar to a Xavier Rhodes in terms of his frame. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. He's very long, really long wingspan as well. If the Vikings could somehow nab Tyler Nubin, sign me up. Let's kick it to You Like That, as he is saying, who is a dark horse QB target for the Minnesota Vikings? So I actually got two names, and I think one is more dark horse than you guys think. The first name I want to throw out there is Russell Wilson, mainly because, so we've heard the reports, and, if you look on any sports book right now, the Vikings are up there as one of the favorites to land him. So Russell Wilson, you would only have to bring him on for the vet min, because that's the only deal he can sign, and then the Broncos pay the rest of it. I would be out on Russell Wilson personally, but another sneaky one to keep your eyes on that we've heard a report out there, Geno Smith. I'd be against bringing in Geno Smith, but that's definitely a dark horse name that could be somehow starting for Minnesota next season, as if Seattle trades Geno to Minnesota. But man, Russ, Geno, I'm probably out on both of them. But predict it for me, not who you want to be QB1 for the Vikings next season, who will be quarterback one. It's week 1, U.S. Bank Stadium. Who is under center taking that snap from Garrett Bradbury? Let me know. Who will be QB1 for the Vikes next season? Coming in from Joey Tana, saying the new Hunter leaves, and we pick up a defensive lineman and the draft, who we picked up in a second round in a draft. So you're saying if Hunter leaves, how do we kind of shore up that edge position? Well, we've heard guys like Dallas Turner, Latu out of UCLA, and Jared Verse out of Florida State. Those names have been linked to the Vikings at 11. You could go big in free agency. You could go with Brian Burns. You could go with Josh Allen, even though I do expect those guys to be tagged by their teams. But in a perfect world for me, you sign Danielle Hunter for a 3-year, $60 million deal. That's what I would do. I want Danielle Hunter back. I still feel like he's underrated. He's really upped his game in the run game specifically, setting the edge really well this past season. So, listen, I love Danielle Hunter. Keep him in the building. I don't even really want to talk about, potentially replacing him at this point. But good question, Joey. Let's kick at the Bulls Nation again. Is he saying Minnesota signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire? No, I would be out on bringing in CEH. I was shocked that he was a first-round pick, former teammate of Justin Jefferson at LSU, and probably the best college football team of all time. We're going to look back on that, and they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, obviously Justin Jefferson. That team was really, really special, but I'd rather have the Vikings, if you're going to sign a running back free agent, go big, go Derrick Henry, go Saquon Barkley, or if not, look in the draft. You could go Blake Corum, you could go Raekwon Davis out of Kentucky, but in terms of bringing a guy like that, I just feel like it would be, you bring in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the Vikings have the most mid running back room in the NFL with Madison, Chandler, Akers, and Helaire, so I'd probably be out on him. We're going to get to more questions here from subscribers in a second, but I do want to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Game Time. If you guys download the Game Time app and use code VIKINGSCHAT, VIKINGSCHAT, we'll hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase. Whether it's a Minnesota Wild game, Timberwolves, whatever you guys want to go see, download Game Time and use code VIKINGSCHAT. You guys will get $20 off right there. You plug in that promo code. We'll hook you guys up, and I'll make sure to put this link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. But Game Time, it's the best seats, lowest prices guaranteed, and the prices actually drop. They don't raise as the events get closer. Get hooked up today. Download Game Time. Code VIKINGSCHAT, $20 off. Coming in from You Got Mossed, saying, I am getting nervous. Do you think the Vikings will extend Justin Jefferson? If I had to call it right now, if I had to start the offseason, or at the beginning of the offseason, I said 100%. I said no doubt the Vikings are extending Jefferson. Then reports start coming out. Jefferson, doesn't want to get extended until he knows the quarterback plan. Vikings have also said they don't want to give him guaranteed money. What will happen? I really do not know. I still think a deal gets done. I just think this deal may get done in the summer. I think this may be a June. I think this may be a July extension, where originally I thought it would be probably done by now, and it's February 21st. So do I think it will get done? Yes. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd probably say 90% still. 90% still. I'm still holding out that Kwesi will get this done. But let me know. Will the Vikings extend Justin Jefferson? Will 18 be with the purple and gold for the next couple of years? Not if you would, but will the Vikings do it? Y for yes and for no down in the comment section. Bulls Nation saying, should the Minnesota Vikings go after Brandon Sheriff, the guard, who was formerly actually with the Commanders, with Kirk Cousins, actually. This is a name that was thrown around a lot when Kirk did originally come to Minnesota. I would. Obviously I would. I think the Vikings need more help at the interior of that offensive line. No doubt about that. But would I rather go maybe a guy like Connor Williams? Yes, or you can also invest draft capital in there as well. I like Ed Ingram. He's just been that roller coaster in the NFL where it's like, one game he grades out very well, one game he grades out very poorly. So we need to see more consistency from him. Will Dalton Risner be back? I am not sure as of right now, but I think the Vikings definitely need to make a move again for another season at the interior of that offensive line. Roger Bong saying, I'd rather pay Hunter over Kirk. And I think I agree with that. If I had to pick one, this offseason, who would I want? I'm probably picking Danielle Hunter. Yes, Kirk Cousins, quarterback, way more important than edge. But in this hypothetical, scenario, the Vikings would pay Danielle Hunter, extend Justin Jefferson, and draft a quarterback at 11. That would be a plan that I would be thrilled to see the Vikings kind of execute. So I kind of agree with that. But again, it would also be very, 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 very scary if, let's just say they don't bring back Kirk. And then they don't draft a quarterback. And then it's like, are we rolling out Nick Mullins? Jefferson's not going to be happy about that. Are we rolling out Jaron Hall? I bet you Jefferson will ask out by week 3 if that's the case. So I kind of agree with you, but you would have to bring in another guy, no doubt. But I do want to say, first off, thank you guys so much for watching today's show. Thanks for everybody who tunes in for every show. I know there's a ton of real ones out there that watch start to finish every single time we post. So I do want to say, seriously, thank you guys so much for that. If you guys made it to the end of today's video, just give me a real one down in the chat so I know who all the real ones are. See you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.